let's go. Hi guys, welcome back to this week's podcast with myself and Infinite Ipe. Sadly, Eater Ipe is not available this week.
We will make up for him.
Yeah, it's actually quite weird because I don't think, although like we know each other probably the best out of the Ipe squad, I don't think we've actually done an episode together.
I don't
just
think we
us
have,
two.
no. But hey,
I think it's either.
all I was going to say is we'll make up for Will in sheer hype. All right.
Yes, we will be excited for the next 45 minutes. Okay, the next 45 minutes of your life, you will not understand this entire excitement that we are feeling.
For no reason. Okay. All right, so let's hop straight into it. Do you want to do your first? Or do I normally go first, but I don't mind.
But you usually go first, so do you want to start off?
I was just going to, I mean, not too much is coming up soon that I'm looking forward to, but in regards to what I've been playing, the last two games I've bought, being Dissidia and Dragon Ball FighterZ, they're both
which have been in the title of pretty much every podcast since they came out.
Yeah,
the concept of them.
They're both 3v3 fighters, but completely different styles. Because obviously, Dragon Ball FighterZ is more like Tekken, Mortal Kombat style, and then Dissidia, I can't really place it on another game. It's just its own style. It's basically third person arena, so it's really cool. But you unlock, what's quite interesting about it is you unlock the cutscenes to the story by playing online or offline, and you unlock. It's sort of like you get these tokens that you pay to watch the cutscenes for. And so far, I don't think there could be like specific battles that you have to play that you unlock on this map of the cutscenes, because it's like spread out on a map of cutscenes. So I'm fairly sure that there are a couple of battles that you have to play. I really hope there are, just because it helps immersion. Do you know what I mean? Like when it's when you're just viewing cutscenes from a menu, it's a little bit. It kind of destroys immersion. But the game itself,
it's not really a story mode. It's just a film.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just an interactive film.
It's like extras that they threw in, and I don't want it to be like that at all. But yeah, I mean, it is pretty good. Obviously, I finished the Batman Telltale. That was definitely before after the last one. It is amazing. I genuinely believe it's one of the best Telltale games ever. The first one, obviously, only second to Walking Dead, really. I mean, I'm not even sure if it's second to that, but the first series is good. The second series is amazing, just because they have so many different characters in there. It's a little bit disappointing with some of them, how they're, come and gone, or they came and went, or something like that. I swear they're saying something along those lines, all right? But it's a little bit disappointing in that respect. But I feel like they misused them. But a lot of them, they do really well with them, and they do them justice. And it's just fantastic in my opinion. I'm just a sucker for those Telltale games. The decisions, which I do pause the game at every time and spend like half an hour contemplating the outcome of both options. But still, I really enjoy those games. As you could probably tell, by the past like 10 minutes, we've been recording for 30 seconds. 30 seconds, I meant 3 minutes. All right. And I actually, I haven't been playing too much Horizon recently, as you could probably tell, because the last sort of series I started on Horizon was the 100% one. And to do that, obviously, you need to complete the DLC. So I thought I'd start with the DLC, keep it interesting. And I haven't played too much of it yet, just because Dissidia and FighterZ came out. But I was actually really excited, because for once the lobbies are sort of steady on FighterZ, and it's really nice because I played a match, and this guy took me down to one character, and I took him from 3 to 0, and it was just like, it was clean. But yeah, that game's also really good. It's really really good looking, which is something that a lot of fighting games now have. But still, it's really good looking in like an anime sense as well. So it's different to like Mortal Kombat, which I also have, which I am a big fan of. So yeah, John, have you ever played any fighting games like Tekken style?
No, I have played some games, but I've not actually like seriously gone out and bought a game. I've only really played Mortal Kombat when we did that big recording session at your house, which we didn't record in the end because we didn't know when I was going to be going.
True.
But it is something which I do, like, if there's a massive event for a fighting game, I will occasionally watch the finals, because like it's an esport. I love esports. Like I watch basically any esports, even the ones I don't have, and never had anything similar to. I just find that I've not got I don't really quite understand fighting games, the whole combos and moves and attacks. Like I've played like those fighting games where you press left to hit with your left arm, you press right to hit with your right arm, down to hit down with both fists downwards, and then up to hit both fists upwards.
Yeah.
I've done that kind of controls, but I just found Mortal Kombat so confusing that I just started crouching and kicking you in the balls.
That's one thing that annoys me, because I mean, if you play, I'm not saying I'm not very good at a lot of fighting games, but I've played a lot of them, and it's weird to see like the differences, because I say moves like button mashing doesn't work. It does in some, like it works in Tekken, but if you get to a high level of Tekken, it's a lot of juggling, which I don't particularly like, which is why I steered more towards Mortal Kombat, especially when like Tekken 7 came out. I never really played that. I just went, Mortal Kombat 10 instead. But it's a lot more, I don't know, I thought it was a lot more brutal and a lot cooler. But then Dragon Ball FighterZ move spamming doesn't work, because if you do something more than once, you're going to get countered, or at least dodged. But I mean, the only move spam that works is the Dragon Rush, which puts you into sort of a fixed animation. But that itself, you can't get out of it, but you can do it to the other person as well. So it's sort of balanced. But button mashing definitely does not work at all in Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball FighterZ even. And I'm not saying I do it. I just know because for instance, family members have tried to do it. But it's really cool just to see the slight differences, because it's the same sort of style, but they all have different like techniques and sort of like ways that you can win. I never really like the timer, but I can tell you, I've had some long Dragon Ball FighterZ games, and none of them ever run out of time, because it's like 300 seconds, and you never take that much time. Especially since the speed they kill each other in the actual show, it's basically replicated here. But anyway, it is amazing. I'm thinking of doing a series, actually. Well, not a series, at least one video of a challenge of trying to go Krillin versus everybody. Or like I want to call it Krillin versus the world, yeah. So I'm going to take a Krillin and two other random like characters into a match. And if my Krillin dies before I win the match, then I lose. I have to forfeit. Which isn't going to be great for the other person, just because no one likes it when the opponent stops playing or quits. But I'll lose the challenge. I'll still try to win, but I'll lose the challenge. So it should be interesting. But first, I want to get some good. I'm trying to get further in the story to get to some of the more difficult battles, so I can record those and put them as videos. Especially, I mean, I'm not that far into the story, but it's hard because you want to play offline on the story, just to get through that, because you get once you complete it, you get a cool character called 121. It's pretty amazing, like badass, powerful character. But at the same time, you do want to play online as well to get your rank up and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of games like that I want to play and record, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I've not really been looking at doing any more games. I want to use the Horizon Zero Dawn footage which we got, which
I still need to send.
Well, to be honest, like it's not exactly an incredibly common game, so like I don't mind it being little bit late, like it is. So it's not like I'm missing out on a huge trend.
Yeah.
But I would. It is something which I would quite like to. I would quite like to do.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. The only reason I haven't sent it is because it's hard to send a file that big. So I mean, when you come around next time, I don't know whether you have an external hard drive or not. But we could try and transfer it.
No, I don't.
Or onto your laptop. You can move it onto your laptop.
Yeah, that'd also be a good way of doing things.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. As according to what I've been, according to what I've been playing.
But from what I watched of your gameplay of it on your YouTube channel, I found it quite. I found it quite unique from what I'd seen from other what's it called? Other fighting games.
Yeah. Because
they've always been like, how do I put this? They've always been like 2D and slightly Mario-esque. But what I found really interesting about it was, obviously, yes, it was in 3D, but also that the whole idea of it was like, it added okay, this sounds really stupid, but it added a whole nother dimension. And yes, obviously it does. It's going from 2 dimension to 3 dimension, but it's there's so much more you can do. You can sneak up on your opponents, which is something you just can't do in something like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
because you're on the screen the whole time. But I guess that's kind of something which I like from my whole CS:GO. That's kind of playing a lot of. I'm not sure how to say that in a proper way, but yeah.
All right, I posted this on Instagram. I just want to bring this up. Another chance to shout out my Instagram, yeah. But no, I posted this picture, and it's literally just a picture of one of the trophies I got on Dragon Ball FighterZ, and it's a very rare trophy. Only 13. Oh, it's now 14.6% have it, and it's play a single arena match. Doesn't say win. Doesn't say at a certain level. It just says play a match, and I don't understand. Like, how can you have the game at this point and not have played an arena match? It's like, it's basically the main. I say it's the main mode of play online. I'd say it's the easiest mode of play online at the moment because they have this cool feature in Dragon Ball FighterZ called ring matches, and all it is you open a ring. You'll be in a lobby walking around. You know, you can go to all events and crap, but then you can open a ring which is about like a meter, I suppose, a small space around you that just lights up of like this cool glowy ring. And when people step inside it, they can accept to fight you. You can choose the amount of players that are allowed in the ring at once. You know, so 3v3, whatever. Obviously, it's not 3 players; it'd be 1 or 2. But you can have like a player subbing in, or I'm pretty sure during the match, not during the match, sorry, in between matches. So if you wanted to create a small lobby, but it's normally it's I'm pretty sure normally it's 1v1, 3 characters each, obviously, but it's it never worked, and it was really disappointing because you obviously could put a password on it and stuff. So it seemed like a really cool, unique way, like simple as well, for you and your friends just to hop on a lobby and not have to join an event to fight each other. But me and my friend tried it several times, and every time you tried to join the ring, it'd say there's no target, no target or something like that, and it was just really awkward. So it didn't work out. I'm not sure if it works now. I haven't tried it recently, but I'll have to make sure whether it works or not, because it will be really cool if it does work. Just because it makes playing, you can hop on quickly and have a game, but sketchy first few days of the online, at least for me. But the gameplay itself is, in my opinion, like close to flawless.
Well, that's really good, because usually when you get a brand new game, they haven't been play tested very much, so it's a bit crap, really, because you get people flying all over the place, abusing these little exploits that they found in the game. And that's just a bit. It's just a bit annoying, and that's probably what kills a game. The gameplay,
to be
errors like that, they will make a big effect, but maybe not as much as it being horrible.
True. I mean, you could say it's weird, though, because obviously the super moves, right? They're easier than you'd think to hit, but they don't do as much damage. Say if you do the Dragon Rush and you did a combo, that would almost do as much damage as a super move, for instance, because you got super move and then your ulti or ultimate finish. I don't really know what you actually call it. I just call it the ultimate. But some of the super moves don't do as much damage as a fist combo, and that, it depends who you're playing. But I don't know. I found it for instance, Vegeta, one of his signature moves is Big Bang Attack, and it's just it doesn't do as much damage as I hoped. But if you combo it, I don't know if it does more damage, but it sure as hell feels like it does because the combo beforehand has done so much. But yeah, it is a really cool game. But I want to speak a little bit more about Dissidia, just because that is it's the latest release. And I really like it. I like the fact that one thing I wanted to mention is the stats on it. It gives you so many stats. It's got the HP attack stats, the enemies defeated, the HP damage, the core damage, which I'll get to in a second, the support points, as in buffs, debuffs, how many restrained foes you have, how many allies saved in decoy time, And going through all these stats, it makes you realize how bad I am at the game. Like how little of these I do. No, 90% of the time, I've got bravery damage, which is like the default, attack sort of thing, and then the HP damage, which is the kills. Because I tend to go for kills, but I really want to actually get good at this game and sort of go more for like the support points. But there's also something, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before. I think I have in my January video a while back, but there's something called prowess in this game, and there's also something called poise. And poise, like depending on your like, character's rating, if you both go head to head with the same type of attack, the one with the highest rating will go through. Because, but like depending on what class you are, that sort of affects your like rating. For instance, if you were a trained knight, you would have a hell of a lot higher poise than like a marksman or something like that. And it's just really cool to see all the different things. And I feel like if you came across a good team that had sort of played a hell of a lot together and knew what they were doing, you wouldn't stand a chance. Like the only reason I ever like win is just because it's a very early game and not a lot of people played it, myself included. I just sort of get lucky. But this, I've also mentioned this, I think, at some point, but there's the core damage, which is like a core that spawns in. And by destroying the core, you get the right to like a summon. And so far, I've only ever been able to summon one, which is the default one. It kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie. But he basically comes in, buffs, shoots lightning and stuff. But some of them really affect the stage. And when your opponent summons in some like demonic like entity, it affects it affects the battle so much, and it's so hard to actually fight. But it gives you points for that summoning points. So like for instance, it also ranks everyone first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, which is pretty cool to be fair. And what's kind of interesting is normally it'll be the winning team will have first, second, third, but sometimes if I lose and I've played decent, I might come like third. So it is interesting. But also that I want to just mention, I'm actually just going to turn on my PS4 here because I want to know all the difficulty settings. There are so many difficulty settings, but what's cool is just the names of them. It starts with I think it's like copper, silver, gold, platinum, and then mithril and stuff like that. I'll bring it up right here in a second. But real quick, just before I speak about that, making thumbnails with this for videos is actually really easy with this because the shots in the game are actually just by themselves, just amazing. Beautiful. Exactly, just beautiful to look at. So it's very easy. There's some of my favorite thumbnails I've got on my channel are the Dissidia ones that I posted in the beta. All right, let's start this game.
But I actually quite like the way it looks. It looks a bit. I know this is a really weird thing to say about it, but it's kind of. How do I say this? It's
sexy.
It's a bit like anime meets World of Warcraft.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Final Fantasy is a bit like that. Real quick, okay, just about the. Sorry, carry on. Yeah, you're gonna say something.
Yeah, I personally prefer how Dragon Ball FighterZ looks because it is also a anime fighting game, but I think it looks a lot more immersive. Yeah, colourful.
Yeah,
immersive is a bit
looks
of a
really
weird word
good
to talk about.
One thing that annoys me about Dragon Ball FighterZ is the lip syncing is quite out of sync sometimes, and it's just a bit like it's good. Like the voicing is good, but not the syncing. If you get me, if you understand what I mean. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, but if I was to choose one of those games purely based on the gameplay which I've seen of them, I've not even heard the person talking about them. I've just been looking at gameplay. Mute. I'd probably choose to go with Dragon Ball FighterZ because if I had to choose between one of them, because they're both very similar games from what I can tell.
Well, they are really different, not styles, not just as in visually, but like gameplay wise. They have very different mechanics, but I just mentioned they were similar just because 3v3. But the difficulties, right? You've got bronze, silver, gold, platinum, mithril, diamond. I think that says adamant, and then
augment.
What? Sorry,
augment.
It looks like a D. I can't. One second. If I choose, yeah, it's adamant, and then the last one you've got is crystal. And I've only ever gone up against a diamond before. I didn't win, but how it works is,
right.
if, for instance, if you set, it's not like ranks online. Obviously, go from that, so you could go up against a player who crystal knows exactly what they're doing. But if you're going offline and you're selecting the bots, you choose each bot's difficulty. But what's actually interesting is you can choose them to be completely stationary as well. So you could technically have a 1v1 if you wanted to, which actually sounds pretty cool to me. You could have 1v1 offline. I mean, there's no point having a 1v1 offline because then 4 people would just be stood there. But it's just an interesting way. I like the fact that you can choose each individual character skill, which makes sense, really, in a game like this especially. But the HP attacks, you only have one in each game, but you can change it before the game, depending on how much you play the character, and you unlock them as you go along. So it is quite interesting. It depends what kind of playstyle you're going for. But anyway, I really like this game. I'm really happy that I have it, and I'm really looking forward to playing more different, like all the different characters. Because what happens with a lot of these games, especially fighting games like Dragon Ball FighterZ, like Mortal Kombat, I still haven't played all the characters. I played it a hell of a lot. It's just some of the characters, you watch gameplay of them or you fight against them and then you just don't like them, and I just have no desire to play them. I'm changing that with FighterZ. I'm going to play every character at least once, because it's not obviously not that many characters compared to Mortal Kombat and FighterZ, but still, I really just want to break out of that habit of playing like 10 characters and then leaving it, because it makes no sense. I'm getting like half the content.
Yeah, you buy the game and you don't even really get the full experience.
Exactly. But yeah, that's all I really have to speak about this week.
So yeah, shall we move on to something else? For example, question mark or Gulpu?
Yeah, okay, let's go there. Let's get this game going, John.
Yes, let's get this game going. So, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You can start while I Google something to ask.
In which case, I will quickly. Okay. Okay. What about? Just gonna see if anything exists.
I'm just gonna see if anything exists. Oh, John.
Okay. Can you give me an example of something which can be powered by a vegetable?
Oh God. The DeLorean.
Talk
from
about
Back to the
vegetable
Future
power.
Okay, vegetable power. Well, the thing is, you could take this in the sense that it's power for your body. It's energy for your body. Obviously, there's chemical energy in that food, and by eating it, you then transform it into kinetic energy if you're moving, or heat if you need to stay hot. Your body does a lot of things. Okay, but so you could take it in that sense, but you could also, if you've watched the Back to the Future 2. Doc has the DeLorean, obviously, and he has that. I can't remember what it was called. What's it called? There's something on the back of the car which he puts like trash into or rubbish into, and he tips like a can in there, probably a banana peel. I mean, none of them are vegetables that I've mentioned there just there, but he could put a vegetable in there. It probably work. A couple of cucumbers in there, tomato maybe, or is tomato fruit or vegetable? Damn it, I don't know. Peanuts aren't vegetables, but you could put them in there too, and it powers it, makes it fly and go into the future or past. So yeah, that's pretty much all I know about vegetable power.
Limited the time up as well.
That was nicely done.
Well, actually, what I was kind of thinking about is you can actually make these little electrical circuits, like sticking things inside potatoes. I mean, I know they're not technically vegetables, but you can do it with other vegetables and fruit. Ooh. So you can actually power a light bulb in a circuit which contains a literal potato, which is why I think that's why when I said I'm gaming on a potato, that people kind of thought that I was taking it. I was over exaggerating, really, because my FPS was the solid vegetable. Right.
That is just pure 10 out of 10. Okay, this one's about Dissidia. I just want you to define Memoria.
Memoria. So Memoria is obviously, as you said, is from Dissidia. However, it was originally created as a connection to the story of the Lord of the Rings, and in this story, they went through somewhere known as the Mines of Moria. After the Lord of the Rings took place, as anyone who read the appendices to the Lord of the Rings should know, people kind of started making fun of Moria, even though it had been taken over, blah, 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 and got all the mithril doors and stuff. What they did was they went over there one night and they had printed out everything they could find on Facebook, right? Everybody, right, about 300, 400 people, right? Dwarves, orcs, elves, humans, they all printed out their Facebook feeds. And then they went over and stuck it in the Mines of Moria, and 90% of it were memes. So that's why it's called Meme Moria.
Yeah, cool. Do you want me to actually tell you what it is?
No.
You sure? It's okay. All it is it's the currency that you buy the cutscenes with, because the cutscenes are actually memories from this epic war that went on. And that's, you basically pay. That's the currency you pay with Memoria. It's not the currency of the main game where you buy everything else, but it's the currency for memories, according to Dissidia Final Fantasy. NT. All right. I don't know what's next. What's next? Is it your section?
My section? No, I guess so, because Will's not here, sadly absent. I'm going to read I'm going to do Cooking with Eater Ipe with Pie Ipe.
I like it.
Just as a memory, right?
Also, did you see my Cooking with Eater Ipe intro on my last podcast, John?
I think I might have done.
Okay, well, you gotta check that out, because it is quality. Yeah, carry on.
Well then, I'm going to replace the word of the actual thingy with camcorder. Okay, so directions: pour hot water over camcorder. Either heat the milk slightly or leave it cold and pour over. Add more if necessary. Sprinkle with sugar. Eat.
Over camcorder?
Yeah. Camcorder's the replacement word.
Oh, right. What? One more time.
Pour hot water over camcorder. Either heat the milk slightly or leave it cold and pour over. Add more if necessary. Sprinkle with sugar. Eat.
I don't know. It sounds like pancakes, but I don't know what.
Weetabix.
I'm so done. Okay, John. I'll be back in a second. I'll literally be like 3 minutes. So you're gonna have to entertain them on your own for a second.
Oh, in which case we do have time to do what's it called again? Oh yes, it is This Week in Esports. So if I just get up my app, which is totally not the Score Esports.
Are you gonna wait for me, or do you want me to?
I wanted you to go so I could do something in this time, so I don't have to edit this part.
All right, cool.
Well then, there have been many big events recently, and also some roster changes in the world of Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I'm not quite going to be doing this in a minute because I've got more time to waste. So, we're going to start off with last week we got the news that we finished with 100 Thieves release KNG, who there's more stuff about. But yes, let's start. North bench Cajun B and promote Mert from North Academy. Cloud9 defeat FaZe Clan in double overtime upset to win the E-League Major Boston. And the people running Overwatch have got the balls to break the mold in regards to esports. SK Gaming partner with FC Cologne. 100 Thieves withdraw their CSGO roster, withdraw from CSGO and drop their Brazilian roster. Navi trade Roger for Lille. X100 Thieves reportedly looking to replace KNG with Feltz. and SKT to lose MVP and drop 1 to 4. And Kierby from Astralis CSGO team joins the North CSGO team. So yeah, there's been quite a few things going on, mainly in CSGO again. It seems to be the CSGO season at the moment. But if you guys are fans of League of Legends, I'm going to have to get up some website. I always recommend, in regards to esports, watching some European stuff. The day that this comes out, which is Saturday, there looks to be some pretty games. There's Unicorns of Love. We're going to be playing at 4:00 UK time, as well as Schlake. They're playing against Vitality. Then there's Schlake 04 playing versus Giants. Then there's Rocat versus Fnatic. That looks like a good game. Fnatic are a good team. H2K versus G2 Esports. And Misfits versus Splice. That'd be one which I actually might consider watching, because Misfits obviously have got the British connections. They're probably the best British esports team. Well, esports team which contains British people at the moment in regards to esports. There are also some good-looking Dota games, I think. I'll just make sure that I've got them right. Games. Here we go. Just pull this up, and then these are recent results. Upcoming matches. It's saying all the ones. WESG seems to be going on, which will be in Russia, which is once again always a good tournament. They're very good in CS:GO. They've always got a really high prize pool. So yeah, if you guys have the chance to go and watch some of those games, then I really recommend them. And I've just heard somebody return.
Yeah.
Oh, the time was 17:37, which is 4 hours after leaked. Anyway. So, Louis,
Yeah.
So recently we saw the first time. Well, we saw the E-League Boston Major, which was, as everyone knows, not everyone knows, but anyone who's been listening to the podcast I'm actually really excited about. It's now over.
Oh,
and it was held in North America, and for the first time, a North American team won it. It was Team Cloud9 who walked away with a victory, and this is the first time that an American team have won a CS:GO major, and I think the first time an American team has won any large-scale tournament in the past 3 years or something like that, which is, quite embarrassing for the other parts, but it's a really exciting thing, to be honest.
True.
Completely, it was an amazing final. I watched it. I can't remember when I started watching it, but it was absolutely insane. The final game, it went all 3 maps, so it's a best of 3. It was FaZe versus Cloud9 in the final, and it was best of 3. So FaZe just about took the first game, 16-12. That probably not as close as everyone expected. And then Cloud9 won the next map, 16-10, but FaZe started managing to pull it back after the first half was like 10-5 or something kind of embarrassing like that. I don't think it was even that. And then the final match went into double overtime on a map which neither team had played each other on, which was a game and a half. That was probably the best game of the end. It was worth watching. If you guys ever want to get into CS:GO, watch the last game, map 3 of the E-League Major Final in Boston in 2018. It was absolutely insane. But Cloud9 weren't exactly the favourites, because they've not been getting amazing results in the past year or so. But they beat the 4 best teams in the HLTV rankings, one after another, to win the entire tournament. Which, yeah, like everyone thought, okay, they're playing G2. They're not going to win that game. They won that game. Oh, they're playing SK. currently the best team in the world. No, I don't think they're currently the best team in the world, but they have spent a lot of time in 2017 being the best team in the world. They also beat them, and then they finally went against FaZe, who they actually have a really good CS:GO team, despite having a terrible reputation in Call of Duty. But the main thing which I really wanted to talk about is after this major, there was. You remember last week I talked about KNG getting kicked out of his roster, like 100 Thieves, for tweeting stupid things again. I feel like he's been coming up a lot. But this is actually quite a good sign for me, because I've invested quite a lot of money into the 100 Thieves stickers. I say quite a lot of money. I invested about £25, Great British pounds, into the stickers. And since last week, the entire CS:GO team for 100 Thieves has been completely dropped, which is great for me, if I can say so myself, because the 100 Thieves Hollow sticker, which I bought for £17, is now £30 and 72p, and it's hopefully going to be a lot more. Like the iBuyPower Hollow is really expensive now. I pulled it up in a recent episode of the podcast, but yeah, and then I got a regular one of him. However, when I was watching the final, I was really banking for FaZe to win and Nico to be the MVP. So I'm slightly annoyed that I spent some money investing in some FaZe stickers and a Nico sticker, and only one Cloud9 sticker, which has risen by about 8p. But I'll be holding on to these for maybe a couple of years, because they'll probably be expensive in a couple of years, and they weren't really when I bought them. So that was pretty fun. But 100 Thieves, I think they've been in every episode of the podcast since they were created, and they're already disbanding, which is not great.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, I don't really follow esports, but I basically know anything that you told me. That's the only things I know about it, but I can tell it's disappointing.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mess up. These were the people who these people were in the finals of the major last time, right? They didn't even turn up this time because they hadn't sorted out their visas properly. Okay, they said visa issues, but seriously, how bad can these problems be, right? Everyone else is managing to get in, and it's I think not great organization from some people. Mm-hmm. And I feel sorry for Nadeshot buying the team and essentially making a terrible investment. It seems, because I don't think he's getting any money back from that. So that was a bit of a mistake on his part, and at least I'm making a bit of money from it. Yeah.
To be fair though, how it cannot be fun for him.
Yeah, for KNG or for Nadeshot?
No, for Nadeshot. Or both.
Yeah, well, he's rich as fuck. He used to be in optics, so True. Yeah, he left optic because he was rich or something. But it seems actually the current ranking on HLTV has still got SK Gaming at the top. And I'm not sure if that was on the 29th, and I don't think the major had finished yet. Yeah, so the major the major had finished then, so they did only go up 2 spots. So it's not a great success for them.
Yeah.
But still, it's a major.
True.
And for some reason, HLTV has put them only 3rd best in the world right now, when supposedly if you win the major, you're the best in the world.
Yeah, I mean, questionably the best, but yes, you're true.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of the little thing you can say. I'm the best team in the world because I've won the latest major.
Yeah,
But you know, it's didn't happen for Gambit either, really. But that's because they were much lower in the rankings. We had last major and the current major, and they've both been like really, really different from the normal ones where you expect like a Fnatic to win when it was at the time when Fnatic were just winning everything. Like you wouldn't expect anything else. Shall we look at? Oh, have you muted your microphone?
Hey, John.
Okay. Well, guys,
Hello?
There seems to be a bit of an error, so we will finish off now, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.